bonus that he had going for him that was able to win him the job here going through was that you wanted to make sure that you had a guy that wasn't going to damage your team along the way. That was really one of his biggest strengths going in, more than anything else. And so yesterday you had one of those rare games where, you know, accuracy, that is what it is. We'll talk about that in a minute, and it's been. But throwing the ball to the other team. And, you know, he's played with fire. He's played with fire over the last few games, and this time got burned. I will say, and look, you guys know I like Brian Hoyer, and my phone, by the way, was blowing up during yesterday's game from the people that know that I like Brian Hoyer. Some listeners, friends of mine, other media people. Hey, what's up with your boy? What's up with your boy, man? Especially in the late stretch of that game where he throws those 2 interceptions in the fourth quarter that really could have and perhaps should have cost the Browns the game there. You know, very, again, uncustomary. Have no clue what Shanahan was thinking, calling for the pass play there on the 6-yard line. And apparently the thought process was to throw it too high to where only Josh Gordon could get it in the back of the end zone, but not true because the defender was able to go up there and get it. So that being what it was, the other one, I will say this. On the fly route down by the sideline there, that one to me, Gordon completely broke off of his route. They were 2 completely separate ways. Now, I'm going to say that as we get to talking about Josh Gordon and his return here in a minute, that you get the good and the bad that comes with that. And I'm saying, I'm a Hoyer guy. I hear you, Charles. I'm a Brian Hoyer fan. As far as not riding the bandwagon to run him out, I believe he's done a good job of doing what he was asked to do here with this team this season. I do. And I'll stick there. I'm not going to shake it because of yesterday at all. Guys have bad games. It's how they bounce back from. Hey, guy had a bad game and bounced back he didn't wait till next week. He won that game somehow. And I'll tell you what, that at the end, it was won on the drive down the field. He found the open man, boom, 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 field goal down at the end. And very precise there on that last drive. But, you know, getting to that point, obviously you're going to go after Josh Gordon on the field. And we saw yesterday the tale of 2 Brian Hoyers. And I'm just going to say this, knowing that some of you guys are going to say I'm just saying this because I like Brian Hoyer, but it was the tale of 2 different quarterback performances, because when he targeted Josh Gordon, he was different than when he targeted everybody else. He targeted Josh Gordon 16 times. Josh Gordon caught 8 of those for 120 yards. On the other 8, it was, you name it, bad route running, wrong route running, lazy route running, whatever it was. And hey, Josh Gordon, he showed on a couple of those plays the physical, athletic ability that separates him from other guys. Anybody that was sitting there thinking just because my man missed 10 games of the season that he was just another wide receiver that's going to be thrown into the pile, you found that out the other night. It doesn't matter if it's a screen pass with 2 yards in front of him and he finds a way to add 20 more after that, or getting out and over the top of the defense. You saw the difference in what Gordon brought to the table when you saw the running lanes that were being opened up for guys that were now not afraid to go down, and you obviously saw what those guys can do. We'll get to that in a minute, but you saw the difference there. But there was a difference in forcing the ball to Josh Gordon, which is clearly what it was. Brian Hoyer, when his throws combined to everybody else except Josh Gordon, very effective there, over 60% completion rate. He had the 1 interception when he threw to Dre, and he underthrew that pass there at the end of the first half, but much more effective. And now all I'm saying is that is a clear sign of forcing the action to Josh. And you can blame Hoyer, you can blame Shanahan, all of them, and you knew it was coming because Mike Pettin clearly told the media that was what was happening in practice all week this week. I mean, Pettin said that Hoyer and Gordon were doing their thing in practice to where they had to peel it back and go, hey, we got to try not to do that. And that's clearly what they were doing quite a bit of the time. And now some of that, I think you have to force, only because you've got to try to catch up a bit. You're trying, but you don't want to lose games. You don't want to put yourself in bad positions, but, you know, he 50 of the 70 plus snaps there. He's out there, clearly wasn't on a limited pitch count there, but you could see those things. Right, exactly, Vashon. He needed to get the work in. So as far as that, I'm with it. And if you came out and won the game and you were able to withstand those, fine. But for those of you that just want to crucify Brian Hoyer and look at the stats of yesterday's game, that wouldn't be completely accurate either. And then, hey, brother, I'll tell you what, you know why I like Brian Hoyer? Because he stood in front of the media yesterday when he had every opportunity to do what anybody probably would do in that situation and say, hey, we won the game. It was ugly. That's all that matters. We won the game. Listen, when a cat is coming up there and not in the I didn't get my stats, so I'm mad that we the way the game went, not that kind of coming up to the podium mad, but when you're coming up and the first thing you're saying is, hey, this thank God we won this game because I gave it away, and this is the worst game I've ever played, and I'm with that. I mean, own it. That's a good example. That's another reason why he's the quarterback this season, because some of those things will live beyond Brian Hoyer when he's not the quarterback here. I'm just saying, man, you guys can think that that's not what happens, but that's the realities of athletics behind the scenes, man. And that's stuff that's been missing here in Cleveland for so long. But I'm with that because he very, very easily could have taken a different tact with that, and he owned it, and he's going to have to come out and do better this week. I think the Browns' offense will continue to improve, though, over the final 5 games of the season here. I just think there's no doubt in my mind. You saw the difference in what it opened up for Hawkins and Gabriel and Austin and these other guys. They were already doing their thing, and this opens up more. It backed the guys off. Crow and West both said after the game, it backed the guys off the line. They could feel the difference between how Atlanta was able to play the run. And remember, Atlanta's not a good defense either. I mean, we have to keep that in mind. But, you know, that's going to make a difference because you don't want Josh Gordon to beat you over the top. Now you creep in too close and that possibility happens. Plus, you'll be able to permanently swing Hawk down into the slot and really get some mismatches there. I think you saw a little bit of that yesterday with what I think he's going to have the biggest impact besides the running backs from the return of Josh Gordon, besides actually Josh Gordon, is Andrew Hawkins. We saw a little bit more of that there as he continues to do his thing. And I think we'll see that more because as they take defenders away, as they take safeties over the top, that's just going to leave a lot more there, especially for the speedy guys like Hawkins and Gabriel as well. So you got to like that aspect of it. You really do. For everybody that was wondering, well, what Josh Gordon is going to show up, he clearly showed up. And I don't want to say picked up where he left off because, as I said, you got 8 good plays that ended up in 120 yards and some good receptions, and that's great. But you had 8 targets that went completely awry that were all because of miscommunication and things that happen when you play 10 weeks in a row. It's the reason why Hoyer and Gabriel and Hawkins and these guys kind of know where each other are now on the field. You'll get that, and it'll come very quickly, I think, with a guy like Josh Gordon. But so you saw the good and the bad that came with that. So keep in mind, while Brian Hoyer could have had 8 million times a better game than he did yesterday, on the 3 interceptions, I do definitely hold a different view on at least 1.5 of them, if not 2 of them there, because it's still, hey, listen, man, you know me. I'm lay it out there, own it, deal with it, evaluate it, and move on. I do it in my own life. I do the same thing there. So that's what the Browns have to do, and that's what Brian Hoyer has to do here coming up, because you've got Buffalo, and they're fighting for their lives here. They're even going to get. I really don't know. Just looking ahead to Buffalo, I really don't even know what you're going to get there, because that's going to be a crazy week because they've had all this stuff going on. You know, I don't even know how much practice they'll be able to get in. Although, for all the snowstorms and 10 feet of snow and everything, I went outside to get the newspaper this morning, and it's the summer solstice going on outside. Shorts and flip-flops weather today. So I don't know. I'm going to keep going with this, but I don't want to keep caller on hold here. Caller, give me a break from talking and take over on the Sports Fix. What's happening? We're talking some Browns, baby. Where are you at on this Victory Monday?
We didn't see more of J. Rock Daddy.
Hey, they let you out. It's LG, baby. What's happening? They
Absolutely,
let you out.
J-Rock Daddy. And the beauty of getting out of Costa Rica yesterday was walking through the Atlanta airport last night at 7:05 p.m. with my Cleveland Sports 360 jacket on and proudly making sure every one of those airport workers in the city of Atlanta saw that it was a Cleveland Sports 360 logo on that jacket.
Nice. So you passed through the ATL airport on your way through. I'm telling you, man, I hadn't heard from you. I was telling some of the guys that know you off the air. I said, look, I don't have the ransom money, man. If the cartel hits us up, man, I don't know if we can get LG out of Costa Rica, man. I'm glad that you're back in the safe waters of the good old U.S. of A., man. So
LG, I'm a quick learner. I told him, "Le cuente, por favor."
I don't know. What's that? I know you got to please.
Give me the bill. I paid it, and I got the heck out of there, baby.
There we go, baby. Let me pay the bill, please. Thank you. I knew please was in there. I didn't know what the rest of it was, man. So
let me tell you, Daddy.
Go for it.
It's difficult to be flying at 30,000 feet and follow a Browns football game, but I did it.
You think?
And I got to tell you something, J-Rock Daddy, that you already know. So what? Brian Hoyer threw a couple of 3 interceptions. First of all, he's a top 10 rated NFL quarterback playing for the Cleveland Browns football team. That's fact number 1. Fact number 2, Brian Hoyer and the Cleveland Browns are 7-4. 7 wins already, J-Rock Daddy, after 11 football games. When was the last time we were able to say that? 2007. That's 7 years ago, right?
Absolutely.
That's fact number 2. Fact number 3. Out of all the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL, there's only 3 in the top 10 with less interceptions than Brian Hoyer. And those 3 are Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and unfortunately, Ben Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger.
Roethlisberger. I hear you.
Everybody else has as many in war, J-Rock Daddy. Andrew Luck's got 10 interceptions. The great Peyton Manning, who will go down as one of the best quarterbacks to ever play in the NFL, has 9 interceptions already this season. Drew Brees, 10. Matt Ryan, 9. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and Roethlisberger are the only ones with less than Brian Hoyer. I mean, Matthew Stafford has 10 INTs.
Brother,
Hoyer has taken ownership of what happened. He clearly stated this is the worst game of his entire career. He felt like he left his team down. Joe Thomas was man enough to go up to Hoyer at the end of that game, tell him we got plenty of time, him and Gordon. We got plenty of time left on the clock. We can get down there, and we're going to win this game. So let me tell you something, J-Rock Daddy. This is the leadership you and I have been talking about all season that we've seen with this Brian Hoyer. This is a guy that never has quit in his vocabulary. He always has what's left in the tank to put it all out there on the line
LG,
and bring these Cleveland Browns back to win football games.
Let me jump in with you right there with what you're saying.
Jump in, baby.
I see Vashon in the chat room. Guys say that. Well, I want a quarterback that can win me some games, and I hear you when you go. Hold on. That's where I'm going. Not only has he won some games, but I don't even care about that because teams win games, not quarterbacks. But there's something to be said when in his small sample size of victories, 5 of them have come in the final minutes of the fourth quarter when trailing in a game. That is what that term intangible means. And people that don't understand that word, they just look at stats, they just look at numbers. And that's why, LG, that's cool that you're laying out passer rating and all that. I don't get
I didn't even talk about passer rating, J-Rock Daddy. I clearly just said
I got you.
There's only 3 quarterbacks with less INTs. Forget about that. I didn't even mention yards.
LG, I'm saying even the interceptions is a a function of the type of offense that you may run. Clearly, there's going to be more opportunities for interceptions when you're airing it out at the rate that the Broncos do and the Colts do. That's what I'm saying. So, I'm being fair about that with the percentage. I think you would have to look up the interception percentage as far as the number of passes that they throw. Brian Hoyer will still be at the top of that list. You're right. Well, what I'm saying is he wins games at the end. Forget the stats.
Here's fact number 4, Jay.
Larry, hold on.
Yep.
I'm just finishing up, and then it's all you, baby. It's all good. I'm just saying, at the